So the media has pretty much only reported positive things about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but what do actual hardcore Star Wars fans feel about it? I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan, and here are my thoughts. Hello there and welcome to Star Wars in Real Life, where we cover everything in real life that has to do with Star Wars, like events, games, toys, theme parks, like Galaxy's Edge, because it's fun pretending like Star Wars is real, even if everyone else thinks we're just a bunch of nerds. Okay, so I am a hardcore Star Wars fan. I've seen all the movies, I've seen all the TV shows, I've read books, I've read comic books, I watch Star Wars YouTube videos on my commute every day. The only reason I have an Xbox is to play Battlefront 2. The only reason I own an Oculus is to play Vader Immortal. This is the alarm clock that I wake up to every single morning.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
Yeah.
Hello there.
These are my glasses. I had them engraved so that on one side it says swirl, which is Star Wars in real life, and on the other side it says I am no Jedi, my favorite Ahsoka quote. And this is my bedroom. My wall is right here. My bed is right there. When a girl comes over, that is the first thing she sees. True story. Then I was at Star Wars Celebration on opening day. I stayed for 8 hours, which is twice the amount of time that I was allowed to stay there for. I cheated. I broke the rules because I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan and I needed to be there for longer. I hadn't done enough of the things. So that's me. Those are my credentials. And now let's get started with this review. Now that it's been a few weeks since I went to Galaxy's Edge, I think the initial euphoria has pretty much left me completely. So I think I can provide a pretty well-balanced review here. So first, the land. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is a 14-acre theme park in Disneyland. They spent 3 years and $1 billion developing this land to make it look, feel, smell, taste, sound like Star Wars, and they pretty much nailed it. So I didn't know that it was technologically possible to build mountains, but they built mountains around this park. Now, it's really important to me that you understand what I'm saying, because you might be hearing me say the word mountains and think that I mean like above average hills or shapes of mountains that in the distance they look pretty real, but once you get up close or once you like walk around to the other side of them, it's like, that's just paper mache, it's not even real. They built mountains. Mountains surrounding this park, not just for the hell of it, not just to increase production value, but to block out the rest of the world. You can't see the tops of roller coasters or water slides and other nearby theme parks. You can't see buildings or trees or highways or parking garages. You can't see or hear anything outside of Galaxy's Edge because they want you to feel like you are in Star Wars. But is that what I felt? Yes and no. I didn't really feel like I was in Star Wars, but I also didn't really feel like I was on planet Earth. I definitely didn't feel like I was in Disneyland. It felt like a different place altogether. I think the best way I can explain it is if you've ever been to Star Wars Celebration, because the entire time that you're at the convention, whatever you've got going on in your day job, whatever finals that you have to study for next week, whatever basketball game is playing, none of that matters or even crosses your mind for the entire time that you're there, because you are in a completely different world. That's what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've never been to Star Wars Celebration, then check out my vlog right up here where I show you what it's like from my point of view. But with Galaxy's Edge, I think the main problem was the inhabitants, other people, other tourists that were there, just wearing normal human clothes, wearing t-shirts that say the word Star Wars on them. Ironically, don't belong in Star Wars. Obviously. But I mean, like, also everyone with the phones and just the selfies, people going up to Kylo Ren and just striking conversation, trying to get some sort of reaction from him, as if he's not an evil, genocidal lunatic who can kill you just by thinking about it. That sort of stuff makes it pretty difficult for me to feel like I'm in Star Wars. But that's not really Disney's fault. What I do think is Disney's fault is not creating enough characters to roam around the park. For example, I never saw any aliens walking around. Not a single one. That's not true. I saw Chewbacca, but Chewbacca doesn't count. There were no aliens walking around the Black Spire outpost. Only humans. In fact, other than the cast members, the only other characters I saw were Chewbacca, Kylo Ren, and 2 stormtroopers. Now, since then, I've seen YouTube videos of other people that went, and I found out that you can also see Rey, a new Resistance fighter character woman that I don't remember her name right now, and a First Order officer. So that's 7 characters total. By the way, if I'm missing any, please comment below. Those are the only characters that I know about, but if you think there were more there, then please let me know. But 7 characters, that's not a lot, especially with the stormtroopers. I don't know if there were more stormtroopers that worked there, but the only times that I ever saw a stormtrooper, there were only ever like a max of 2 of them. And there should be way more than 2 stormtroopers. That's their only advantage, their numbers. That's how they instill fear in the galaxy, through sheer numbers. God knows it's not because of their military competence. There should be tons of stormtroopers just constantly patrolling the streets of the Black Spire outpost, asking to see your identification, talking about the new T-17s and how much better they are than the T. And where are all the rebels and the resistance fighters? Where are all those people with like anxiety written all over their faces, trying to hide from the First Order, walking around and suddenly turning, changing directions when they see a stormtrooper walking towards them? Where are all those people? Where are all the aliens? Where are all the droids? That's what I want to know. Where are all the droids walking, rolling around, just running errands, pretending like they're people? Or all of the bounty hunters and sketchy individuals constantly getting into fistfights and causing trouble for everybody? You know what I mean? It felt kind of like a fake town. Not a fake town. No, like a fake town. It felt fake. Like it was abandoned and now it's only populated by cast members and tourists. Like actually, if you took out all of the tourists, the only people you'd be left with are shop owners, along with Rey, Chewbacca, First Order officer, Kylo Ren, some stormtroopers, and a resistance fighter. That's 7 other people who don't own shops in the entire area. During the day, there would be a maximum of 7 people walking around, and everyone else would be inside managing their storefronts. Where are all of the customers? How are they all still in business? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why it felt kind of fake to me. That's why it didn't feel like Star Wars. Now don't get me wrong, the cast members were great. They were perfect. The architecture, the attention to detail, the authenticity of the landscapes, the sheer magnitude of the landscapes, all the languages written on the walls and the signs and all of that was like pretty much perfect, except for the inhabitants. Where is everyone? That's what felt weird to me. You know, I've spoken before about what Star Wars means to me, and one of the biggest things is a sense of belonging. Because there is so much diversity in Star Wars. There's all these creatures and aliens and humanoids and droids, clones, Sith, Jedi, Mon Calamari, all of these different beings living and cohabiting all of these worlds all over the galaxy, where anyone can fit in practically anywhere and do anything. Creates a sense of like equality and just belonging, right? And the lack of diversity at Galaxy's Edge is why I felt like there was a lot missing there. I felt like alone, if that makes sense. Wow, I really didn't expect this first bullet point to take this long. I think I'm gonna split this up into 2 videos, sorry. But in the next video, I'm gonna talk about all the rides, the toys, the food and beverages, the shops, all of that stuff. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified as soon as I post that video. Unless you're from the future, because I might have already posted that. You could tell if there's a thumbnail right here, then that's the exact video I'm talking about. You don't even need to subscribe. You can just bloop, click right there and watch it. But if that's empty, it's just like a hollow rectangle type of thing, then you get it. So until then, let's keep living Star Wars, and I will see you in the next video.